Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sysco's Virtual Kitchen Healthcare and Senior Living Edition. I'm Christine Romano, Healthcare Marketing Lead for Sysco Canada. And joining us today, we have Chef Elizabeth Ede from Weston Foods. So she'll be showcasing recipes and products to help inspire elevated menu options for healthcare and senior living. Welcome, Chef Elizabeth.
Thank you, Christine. It's such a pleasure to be here. We're really excited to share what Weston Foods has to offer for our senior living customers. There's such a variety of products from a little bit more elevated and artisan to value, and then the way to elevate those things and bring them together and create an exciting and delicious menu items. So I want to dive right in to a sandwich. I have a couple of sandwiches, but I'm going to talk about ways that you can use our product in multiple applications. So you're really getting bang for your buck. And when you're bringing in cases, you can use them across multiple menu cycles and different items within the kitchen. So we're going to start with our Ace Bakery line. We have some really great options. Traditionally, we're known for our baguette, which is a beautiful product, but it's a little bit crusty. So some of our older clientele, it's a little bit more challenging for them to eat. So I'm going to talk to you today about some of our Ace products that are perfect for senior living. The first one is our Craft Brioche Bun. So this is a really resilient product. You can see it's really, really pretty. If I hold it up to this camera over here, it's got a beautiful golden crust. It's got a buttery flavor, really beautiful color inside, and it's super soft. You can just see me how I'm holding it here. It has very, very soft crust. It's really, really easy to eat. This application, I'm going to make into sort of an entree style sandwich, but you could use it for lunch or for dinner. So it's a spin on chicken cordon bleu. So I'm going to take our bun and toast it. It's really delicious toasted, but of course it's great just as well. These buns come frozen in bags of 6. So just like this, you pull them out of the case, as many as you need, rack them up, put them in your dry store or a temperate part of the kitchen, and they take less than an hour to thaw. So super fast and easy to use, and you get that perfect result every time. These ones actually have butter and egg in them, so they're a really high quality product, and you can just taste the difference in the flavor. So chicken cordon bleu, of course, everyone's favorite entree, but I'm going to take those elements and just reinterpret them for a sandwich. So I've got a nice crispy chicken fillet, but you could also use like a grilled chicken if you like. Just traditionally it is crumbed, so you could use crumbed or fried. Nice thin one if you want a little bit thicker, just depending on what your residents like. So we're going to take I'm going to put this under the broiler. I've got some nice ham. This is Black Forest ham that's been smoked. So you're getting some really nice flavors there, as well as textural contrast. And I'm going to put some Swiss cheese right over the top. This doesn't look so appetizing right now, but this is something you can easily assemble ahead and then bake right to order and serve right on your buns. So I'm just going to pop this under my broiler for just a moment. In the meantime, I'm going to check on my buns. They're getting nice and toasty. They toast really easily and they're very, very resilient. So when someone's eating them, their fingers, it's not going to disintegrate. As they're eating the product, it's going to hold up. The integrity of the product is going to be there from your first bite to your last, which is super important, especially when we're considering our seniors. It might take them a little bit longer to eat their lunch or dinner, so they can have that really nice result all through the eating experience.
So Elizabeth, do these items come fresh or frozen?
Yeah, these are frozen, Christine. So all of the products today that I'm showing you are frozen, which is great because you don't have to worry about losing that, like having them go bad or not using them up before. So in some ways, it's one less thing to think about with your inventory because you know you've got them in the freezer. You went through a little bit more today. You just keep ordering them, cycling through them. And they also have a little bit of resiliency in the shelf life as well. So you don't just have to use them the day that they're, oops. Actually, I'm going to move my rack, Christine. Sorry, just 1 second.
Yep.
But the advantage of frozen versus fresh, where you can't see me, but you can hear me hopefully. The advantage of frozen versus fresh is controlling your costs because of stales. So when you always have that product on hand and it's not going to go bad and you don't have to worry about the use by date, it's really an advantage. You can focus on the quality of the meals, food preparation, rather than your inventory.
And would you ever want to refreeze these items or no?
It's not. Certain products are a little bit more resilient when it comes to refreeze, but really, as I said, because they're frozen, you can just pull what you need for the day. You can manage your thawed product really easily by, you know, exactly how many residents, how many you think are going to eat this particular sandwich on the menu today, and then just pull accordingly.
Perfect.
So here I've got my bun is nicely toasted. You can see, but it still maintains its softness, which is great. I've got a Dijon and sort of aioli, which is a really nice, going to cut it's really rich, kind of indulgent sandwich. And this is going to help cut the, here we go, oops. It's going to help cut through that and provide a nice acidity. I'm also going to serve it with a soup because we know residents love choices with whether it's a soup or a side salad. Where is my soup? Here we go. Oh, no, sorry, I decided to make this one a salad. So I've got my salad already ready in the fridge, pre-plated. So I'm just going to serve that on the side here. And I'm just waiting for my chicken cordon bleu to finish up. And we'll serve this with a little bit of pickle as well. So it's sort of a twist on a classic deli sandwich and a classic entree. So something that's really craveable, but these buns can be used for a burger, of course, or any type of sandwich if your residents love pulled pork or shredded beef, or even if you wanted to do a tuna salad on something different or a chicken salad on something different than sliced bread, this is a really nice option that just elevates it a little bit and provides a little bit of a change, right? Because I think we all get tired of eating, right, the same thing over and over and over again, or having it seen the same way. So this gives a little bit of variety and choice while still maintaining the softness that's needed. So I think I'm going to grab my, there we go. Grab my here we go. Okay, so I've got my finished chicken cordon bleu with melty cheese. The chicken is nice and crisp, so you're getting a lot of different textures, textural contrast. And then we're gonna put our bun on it, and there we go. There's a really easy soup and sandwich. The portion isn't too large. It's about 3.75 inches, so it's not too big. And you can certainly use it with a soup or a side salad, as I've done here.
That's fantastic. And I think you could probably even use it as an open face type sandwich as well, right? I mean, I think
absolutely. Yeah, if you wanted to do like a tuna melt or a chicken melt, absolutely. It goes for a hot sandwich or a cold sandwich, even if you're going to make it ahead. It's really great in the fridge, holding in that application. So pretty versatile. Next, I'm going to show you, just put this away. And next, I'm going to show you I'm calling it a holiday sandwich because it's got all of the flavors of Christmas or Thanksgiving that we love, with a little less of the trouble of cooking everything. So I'm going to use our Ace Bakery herb scatchata. This is a relatively new product and new listing at Sysco. You can see it's a really nice thin profile. It's stone baked, but it's very, very soft. So it's great for residents, easy to bite through. And the interior, it's got a beautiful open cell structure. I'll just show you this, you can see it. And it's super soft. So I can just like easily crush in my hand. You can toast this, of course, or you can bake it before you use it. I'm just gonna, because we have a few things going in the sandwich, I'm just gonna leave it untoasted. But on the top here, you can actually see that it's hand dimpled. There's olive oil and some herb de Provence. So we have some nice flavors in there that kind of remind me of the holidays. So what I did is I took some sweet potato and I cubed it up and I roasted it with some poultry seasoning, which has the flavors of Thanksgiving or that you'd have in stuffing. So sage and rosemary and thyme, and I just made it into a mash. So I'm just going to put that on our, you think this is a little bit strange, but it's kind of taking the place of the mayonnaise or a spread, and it's becoming a spread, but it's high impact flavor. If you wanted, you could put some hummus or mashed chickpeas or beans in here and amp up the protein content if you'd like.
I love the idea of, yeah, I love the idea of incorporating these types of sides as opposed, and then reducing the fat content, and you're increasing fiber as well, right, with the sweet potato.
Absolutely, absolutely. Then I've got some nice roast turkey, which I roasted earlier, and you could do this as deli turkey if you wanted to save a little bit on the cost. And then a little bit of spinach. So we've got all of our veggies in here. So it's really healthy. And you could, again, if you're putting some beans in the spread, you could lower the amount of protein if you'd like that you're serving to help you keep your costs in check. And last but not least, I always think of when I have turkey dinner, I have to have cranberry sauce. So here, I've actually made it a little bit more sophisticated. So I did take whole cranberry jelly, mixed it with a little bit of mayonnaise, or you could put yogurt too, and I put some red wine vinegar and a little bit of balsamic. So it's making it sweet and sour and creamy all at the same time. It's got a lovely pink color that is going to make this is a super colorful sandwich. If we want to talk about eating the rainbow, this is definitely all in this sandwich here. So you can see it's still a nice thin profile, not too large, still easy to eat, especially because we've got the spread in there that solidifies it a little bit. I'm going to just slice it on the bias here. You could, of course, just serve it as a half sandwich if you wanted to, if you wanted to do the smaller portion size option. I've got some soup with me as well. I've got some mushroom soup. Sorry, I'm off screen for a second. Just gonna add my mushroom soup to my side bowl. Put a little bit of fresh cracked pepper in there. So we've got a really nice soup and a beautiful, colorful, oops, here we go, this way, turkey sandwich.
And
so, you know what, I'm gonna grab,
Sorry, I love how you've elevated just the traditional recipes that you see for sandwiches within healthcare and senior living.
Well, we know that people love those familiar comfort flavors, but again, if you're eating that same thing over and over again, you still love the flavors of them, but you want them interpreted in a slightly different way. So this is a great way to do that. Another lunch, or it's also a really filling and hearty meal. So you could serve that for dinner. Actually, here, let me show you just in this camera so you can see all the beautiful colors, and it's all the flavors that you'd expect of Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner with your family. Can bring back some of those happy memories and be a lot less fuss for the kitchen, right?
It looks amazing.
Thanks. I think it tastes amazing too. Sally and I are going to eat lunch a little bit later. And I haven't eaten breakfast yet, which I often don't do these days because I'm running around getting everything ready. So I'm excited. Weston Foods has a huge breadth of products. So you might be familiar with us for our sliced bread, which is a very, very popular SKU in healthcare. We've also got the ACE lineup, which I think hopefully I've shown you that ACE isn't just about baguettes, that there's opportunities, especially for higher end retirement, that are really going to elevate a menu and still be soft and that texture that you want, easy to eat. And then we also have tortillas. So this is another thing that isn't traditionally used for senior living, but I want to show you a couple of recipes and ways to interpret it to really make it exciting, interesting. And as we get new residents of younger ages, they're used to eating things like tortillas and wraps for lunches, for hot things. And it's not just about Mexican flavors that we serve with them. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways. We've got lots of flavors. So here I've got whole wheat, which is an option. We've got white. I'm showing you in the 10-inch today, but we also have 8 inches, 6 inches, and 12 inches. And it's white, whole wheat, spinach, and tomato. So there's lots of different flavors and colors to really help you elevate your menu in new and different ways. So you can serve them hot, of course, or cold. I'm going to do both for you today.
Chef, can we get you to look
yes.
at the one, Chef, can you look at the one camera, the one on the side there?
Yes.
That one. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, the other one's a little blurry.
Do you want me to talk to that one? Do you want me
Yes,
to talk
please.
to this? Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that. Let's
There we
pivot. So what I've done here is a traditional pinwheel sandwich. Everybody loves that kind of tea time pinwheel sandwiches, but this is a way to do it with wraps. So, oops, sorry. I left some of my dishes on the side there that I want. So what I did was I took a herbed cream cheese. I spread it over the base of the tortilla after it was thawed. And then I added grilled vegetables that I sliced thinly. So you could do roasted vegetables. You could chop them up. If you don't want to go to the labor of slicing them really thinly, you could just make it like a vegetable mix. But you can do anything that's nice and thin. And you could even do a tuna salad that doesn't have too much mayonnaise in it. And like the water is really well drained out, and roll that up. It's really nice to have something like the cream cheese that makes it stick. But I'm just going to cut off the ends just a little bit. And then I'm going to show you, again, this is another like taste the rainbow, eat the rainbow. I'm cutting into 6, but here it almost looks like sushi, which of course our residents might not be familiar with now, but the ones that are coming up will be. So we can see here the beautiful colors, and that it's a really unique presentation. You could serve this with a dip on the side, of course, a salad or a soup, but it's really easy to eat. You can choose a size that are like 1 bite, and you can just have fun. It's almost like playing with your food, even though our moms told us not to play with our food, but this allows us to kind of play with our food and have a new and a fun and interesting way. And of course, you can do larger wraps and like deli style sandwiches on tortillas as well. I am going to, actually, what I didn't do when I started is that they come in a package that's sealed, and you want to thaw them flat. You just pull what you need from the fridge. You can tray them up. At room temperature is always best. The fridge is a really drying environment. So for people who have thawed bread or kept bread in the fridge for forever, that's a no-no. Don't do that. Valerie, my battery is running low here. Can you just have a look at that? So if it's pull it out of the fridge, lay it flat so it thaws flat. You don't want it cracking the edges or anything like that. And when it's fully thawed, it takes about 2 hours. You are just going to roll the bag like this against itself to just loosen the tortillas. So then they'll be nice and loose, and you'll be able to easily pull them and use and work with them. I think we've all probably had the experience when they're stuck together and they start ripping and all that sort of stuff. It's because you didn't roll the sides. So that's the trick.
So that's great information. It's great information. Thank you for sharing about the storing in the fridge. I didn't realize that it is a lot more drying, and so you'd think that where it should be stored, but so good point to make.
Yeah, the best place to actually store bread is either in the freezer when it's frozen or at room temperature. And just be careful when you're in your kitchen that you're not putting it above the oven or the fridge or like under a heat lamp or like a retherm or something, that it's in more of an like a temperate place in the kitchen. So maybe the dry store or maybe just like where you're doing salad prep, just a little bit cooler spot of the kitchen, not super, super hot, because it'll start to, the condensation will start to form in the bags as it thaws. So you want to try to avoid that. You don't get wet bread or tortillas. I'm going to make a barbecue chicken sandwich. So just taking some pulled chicken, mixed it with a little bit of barbecue sauce. Maybe your residents like a sweeter flavor, so you could do like an apple barbecue, something that's really sweet and savory. So you don't need to use too much. And here we go. So it could be like chicken dark meat, or this could also be pulled pork. It's just up to you. Or it could be like sliced turkey. And then I just made a coleslaw. So this, I actually made a dressing with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I put some apples, some shredded apples in here, along with the carrot and the slaw mix. So it's got those sweet and savory elements that are all gonna go together. And if you don't put too much mayonnaise and you don't let it get too wet, it will hold up really well and be easier to eat for residents to keep it together, if you know what I mean. You're not going to have pieces falling out. So when you roll the tortilla, the wrap was a little bit, pinwheel was a little bit different, but you want to roll first your sides, fold your sides in, fold it over all the way, and tuck your sides in, and then roll over. And you want to keep it in the poly bag until you roll it up so that it maintains its softness and suppleness. I am just going to grab, here we go. Just going to grab a plate. And actually, I also should have grabbed a, there we go. So here is a tortilla sandwich wrap, barbecue chicken with coleslaw, very traditional things that you might have as a baked chicken leg with coleslaw on the side, or a fried chicken sandwich with coleslaw. But this is a way that's a little bit easier to eat, definitely easy to prepare. And you can roll the wraps ahead of time. Again, if you don't put too much dressing on, you can easily roll these ahead of your meal service and then just slice them and plate them. And if you could put a, toothpick in here, but you can see that it holds up, and it's, oops, this one's a little unrolling just a little bit. It's great if you use a little bit of cream cheese just on the corner, just to seal it. It really helps. But this is something that would be easy for us to eat and roll up, and without unrolling. So that's some more chicken sandwiches. And here's another thing you might not have thought about with tortillas, is to actually use them almost like a pastry wrap, like a beef Wellington. So you could take, if it's a piece of fish or a piece of chicken and some vegetables, maybe it's sauteed spinach, a little bit of sauce, put that in the center, roll it up as a package, and then bake it under a sauce or a cream sauce or a bechamel sauce, and bake that in like a hotel pan, and then serve that. So it's almost like an enchilada without being Mexican. So it's something a little different. You can eat it with a knife and fork, and you can get some of your fiber content through using whole wheat wrap or some of the flavors. So that's just some other ways to do it. Of course, you can make it hot, like a quesadilla, if that's something you have in your operation, the capability to do that. Otherwise, it's really easy to do it as a cold wrap and prepare it in advance. So that's something you think our residents would enjoy, Christine?
Sorry, I missed that.
That would appeal. Do you think the wraps, the tortillas, would appeal to some of the residents?
You know what? I think there's definitely some great tips and recipe ideas. I really love the idea of the handheld and the bite size formats. And it was great to see so many different application ideas specifically for healthcare and senior living. I did notice the all but gluten. Do you find that you have a lot of demand for gluten-free bread within healthcare and senior living?
Yes, it's definitely increasing as we become even more aware of different dietary needs. Before, we just thought maybe somebody had a sensitive stomach, but now we realize it's the gluten in the product that is just off-putting to them. So definitely there's a lot of dietary needs, and we also make a line of gluten-free products. We've got our sliced breads right here. So I'm showing you the multi-grain version. We also have white, of course, but what's really nice is you can actually see the whole grains in the product. It's got a really nice soft texture, so it's really easy to eat, again, for our residents. And we have other items besides sliced bread. We have hot dog buns, hamburger buns. We've got blueberry muffins, chocolate muffins. We've got 2-bite brownies that are gluten-free. So we have lots of options that those who have those dietary concerns don't need to feel like they're missing out. And that also for the kitchens and all of your chefs, it's really easy to know that there are solutions that you can just trade things in and out. So if you're doing sliced breads for a sandwich, there's another option for patients who are sensitive to gluten.
Perfect.
And last but not least, ooh, I'm mixing this up here. We have sliced breads. So I think everybody knows Weston for our sliced breads. Here's some whole wheat sliced bread right here. But we have so many different varieties. We've got white, whole wheat, multi-grain. We've got square slices. We've got Texas toast, thicker slices. We've got regular slices. So there's a lot to choose from. It offers really great value. So sometimes it can help you balance your costs, but it's also kind of a neutral canvas that you can use for so many different types of applications. Again,
I was gonna say, I think we lost the audio there.
Yeah.
How's that? Did you?
That's better.
Okay, good. Okay, so we've got our sliced bread. So if you want to think about traditional sandwiches like salad or tuna salad, a club sandwich, things that we know residents love, this is a great solution, or for breakfasts, for toast. But you can also make dessert with it. So I want to show you today a bread pudding, which is very appropriate to the fall season. But the great thing about bread pudding is that it can really take on any flavor that you like. So if you wanted to do like a tiramisu flavor, you could do that. If you wanted to make something like cream cheese with like cherry pie filling, you could do that. So it's really, really adaptable to different types of seasons, what your residents like to, flavors that they enjoy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our sliced breads. These take about 2 hours to thaw. Again, at room temperature, just pull what you need out of the freezer. There is about 20 to 22 slices per loaf. I'm going to make a pumpkin spice bread pudding. So you can call it pumpkin spice or call it harvest spice or any kind of name you want to call it. But it starts with the bread, of course, and I've just buttered the pan that I'm going to use. You might, of course, consider using like a whole hotel pan. Traditionally, you might serve raisins or top nuts in it. I'm going to do some raisins that I've soaked. You could soak them in booze. I like bourbon for this kind of application. Today I had some orange juice, so I soaked it in bourbon and orange juice. So really nice flavor that's pairing well with the pumpkin custard. So to make the custard, I took pumpkin pie filling and I added sugar and, of course, the milk and the eggs that you would normally add to a bread pudding custard. And then I just mixed in the pumpkin pie spices. So ginger, cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, clove, and allspice. So you can, of course, cut these up into cubes and toss them. I like to make it what I call mountain style. So it gives all the peaks and the top of the bread pudding looks really, really pretty. And it's not really any more hassle or steps to do it. So you take your halves of the sliced bread that's already thawed and you dip it in the custard and you alternate the edges so that they're like mountains. When I get a few more done, I'll show you. So you just want to dip it just lightly, not too like soaking. So, oops. And I actually love doing a quiche with a bread lining. So you can take, again, butter your dish, line the dish with bread, and then pour your quiche on it, and it becomes like, instead of the crust, it's like all in one. So it's great for breakfast, for like strata, or for lunch. So maybe you can see here that I've added a few, that there's the peaks and valleys in the tops of the bread. So I'm just going to continue even using the ends here and just go for the rest of it.
You are going to have a pretty amazing lunch today, aren't you?
Maybe I shouldn't eat all of it because it'll be, you know, there's a lot of things here. I'm ready to share it with my neighbors. Okay, so when you get to the end, you're going to, of course, pour the last bit of remaining custard on top, just so we make sure it's really soaked in there, so that you get each piece nicely covered. And then I'm going to show you my trick to making it really awesome. So here is the last of the custard. Just pour that on top. This is something you can make earlier in the day and soak it. So it's a really easy and very cost-effective homemade bread. And if you want to watch your calories a little bit for residents, you could use 2% milk or skim milk rather than a combination of milk and cream, which is traditional. So it's really, really versatile. As I said, you can add all sorts of different flavorings, toppings, put espresso powder in there and make it taste like tiramisu, add chopped up little cubes of cream cheese, and it becomes a cheesecake. So we've got here, so this is the pumpkin puree that I used. What we've got here is I actually take a sugar. So this is a pumpkin spice sugar, just re-upping the flavors that are in here already. And I kind of generously sprinkle the top of this so that it almost becomes like creme brulee on the top of your bread pudding. So this is something a little bit extra. Here's the finished product. You see, looks really tasty. It's really easy. You just bake it for about 30 minutes, depending on the size of your dish, of course. If you use a large full hotel pan, you'll need a little bit longer than that. But here we go. Through the magic of the internet, I have one that's already done. You see it's beautiful and golden on the top. And it's really nice and crunchy. Nice and crunchy on the top. So the softness is still on the bottom, right? It's easy to eat, but the top is nice and crunchy. So I am going to take a portion here and I need another plate. There we go. I'm going to portion this up. So it's also really, really easy to serve. This might be a little bit large portion, but for the sake of us today, I'm going to show it to you this way. And I made a custard on the side, so you could serve it on the side with some custard. Oops, my custard's not pouring very well today. There you go. So that it has some nice sauce. You could, of course, do it with ice cream. And then I, of course, can't just leave it by itself. I have to make a maple brown sugar caramel for the top. So you get something that's really, really deluxe and delicious and really craveable. This is like a classic dessert that residents will love, but it's just flavors that keep it fresh and new takes on it, right? There we go.
That looks amazing. So nice.
So that's everything that I've got for you today, but we have so many products that work for senior living. So please reach out for us as you're working on menus and innovation and development. Just reach out to us and our partners, and we're happy to be in touch. There is some a little bit of recipes and inspiration on our website, but it's not really geared towards healthcare. So our website is westonfoodservice.com. But reach out to us and we can do some healthcare specific ideas and product usages. And I know that we're going to be putting together some menu cards after today with these recipe ideas. So yeah, we're here to partner with you to help you make new and innovative products for your residents and to get them excited about food. and what they're
Great.
eating every day.
Thank you so much, Chef Elizabeth, for joining us today. And I really loved how you created recipes that really help to elevate the traditional sandwich and have us thinking outside of the box on other options that we can do for bread. So for more recipes, as Elizabeth said, more recipe ideas, you can visit the westonfoodservice.com website. And Weston's will be back with us on November 3rd at 3 o'clock to share more recipe inspirations for healthcare and senior living. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Over to
everyone.
you.
Have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks, Christine. Sorry, I was choking there. Such great ideas. So thanks
Oh,
again,
dear.
Elizabeth. Always a pleasure. For everyone else that's listening, we also have our first virtual butcher show coming up today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, same place. And we're going to be bringing amazing ideas when it comes to proteins from our virtual butcher. And that's going to be a great show this afternoon. And then tomorrow, we got more shows tomorrow and on Thursday, 11 o'clock or 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to continue to bring awesome ideas like this. So thanks again, Christine and Chef Elizabeth. We'll see you soon. Thanks again.
Thanks, Jay.